Divine hiddenness is one of my pet peeves. God's not hiding. However, there are a lot of people looking for not God and calling it God. That's one of the things that I really liked about this movie. While the God played by Morgan Freeman isn't exactly the God I'm praying to, he does kind of straddle that gap between what most people are looking for and what I have found when reading scripture. Most people seem to be looking for something that's halfway between the cartoon images from Family Circus and Aladdin's Genie. That's why the cartoonish portrayals, such as post-it notes with prayers filling up the apartment and Juan Valdez delivering Bruce's coffee, personally fit so well into this portrayal. Yet it isn't by exploiting that power, but rather by acting without it, that Bruce finally starts to understand what it means to be divine. We see the same thing in the incarnation. Theologians have been noting for almost 2,000 years that God could have come as a king or a general or a business tycoon. Instead, he came as a peasant baby. There are parables where God takes the role of a king or a master, but when Jesus explicitly tells us where we should have looked to find God in the parable of the sheep and goats, it is among the poor and helpless. When the rich young ruler claims to have obeyed all the commandments and to be willing to follow Christ, the parameter placed on him is that he first give up his wealth and status. There are a lot of times when I read comments on Facebook and Reddit from atheists who lost their faith when they prayed and really prayed, but God didn't give them what they wanted. They'll wax poetic about how good the thing they wanted was, the healing of a friend or family member, or the rescue of an innocent victim, or some other tragic circumstance they want righted. But God didn't bow the knee to them, didn't declare their holiness from heaven, and didn't grant their wish. There are things I don't want to do in these circumstances. I don't want to minimize their loss. I've lost a child. It didn't shake my faith. God didn't start out owing me a child. God didn't have to prove himself to me by doing the right tap dance at the right time to the right tune, just because I said so. There's nothing I can offer God to make him happier, and nothing I can threaten him with that would scare him. When I read those stories, I always wonder what it was that these people believed in, because it certainly wasn't any of the best metaphors for God from the Bible. It's not the king of the universe. They thought that by threatening to remove their allegiance they could scare him into submission, but the king of the universe has legions of invisible armies ready to heed his call at a moment's notice. Losing one half-hearted recruit that can't even sharpen his sword properly isn't a threat. It's not the ultimate judge. They think that their personal take on what's right is better than his, but the ultimate judge will do what's right no matter what, even if that's different from our perception. It's not the unmovable rock, because they were dedicated to moving him. If this is you, please tell me, what is the analogy of God you are drawing from that you object to so passionately?